Sorry. Hey, welcome to the Steve Z Chronicles. I sure hope that you're having a good day, and I am so thankful that you're tuning in to this channel today and tuning into this video. The idea of this video is to just help you save some money. You know, I think we spend an awful lot of money on mechanics, and in some cases we just kind of have to use mechanics, things that we're just outside of our ability, and I understand that. And there's times where I have to bring my vehicle to a mechanic. But as much as I possibly can, I try to fix my own stuff. And so I've got a friend of mine's pickup truck here. We actually traded. He does lawn care for a living, so we traded some work. I told him I would fix his rear brakes if he would blow the leaves out of my yard. So I feel that's a fair trade. And I hate yard work, and I love working on vehicles. So that's going to work for me today. That's what I'm going to do. So I want to kind of take you through this, replacing the brakes on this 2001 Dodge Ram. I think that you'll find it a lot easier and less intimidating than it sounds like, and it can save you hundreds and hundreds of dollars by doing something like this yourself. Now, I've done brakes. This is a friend of ours at the church. He has a lift, so I'm thankful for a lift today. I don't have to get down on my knees, but I've done many brakes on my knees, in my garage, on the floor, in the parking lot. I have a side company. It's called Zancher's Amsoil Sales and Service. What I do is I sell Amsoil, but I also do some minor car repair. I charge a hourly rate plus parts. I come right to folks' homes or business, wherever their car is parked, and do brake repairs, things like that, simple repairs. I don't rebuild engines, don't go that far. But so I've done a lot of brakes on the ground, but today I get to do them using a lift, and it makes life so much easier. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these tires off. We're gonna see where we're at. I'll try to bring you in so that you can kind of see where we're at on these brakes and why there's a need to replace the brakes. The lug nuts here, I'm gonna take these lug nuts off the tire. Using an impact wrench is going to be so much easier. These are 22, happen to be 22 on this truck. I'll take these 5 lug nuts off. I'm going to take both tires off, and then I'll start inspecting the brakes, seeing what all we need to do. Well, there's your problem right there. Yep. There's a good possibility. That's not supposed to do that. So what has happened is the rotor, this is the rotor, this is the caliper. The caliper pinches the rotor, and there's pads in there, and those pads made up of a certain material. They slowly wear down as it pinches and stops. So over time, for whatever reason, this has actually broke the rotor from this drum. This is all one piece right here. And I can tell this is going to be very fun trying to get this off of this hub assembly here. So we're going to keep digging into this thing. I'm going to go yank the other tire off. Well, the good news is that this side, there's still a little bit of pad left, so it hasn't went metal to metal, and the rotor is still in good shape, so I don't have to yank that rotor off. I'm really happy about that. The calipers, you can see how nasty they are. Now, if I can pull these off, then I can squeeze the pistons back in with a C-clamp, and they seem to go back in nice and smooth. They might be okay, because this one, we'll see. I'll have to look on that a little bit more, but I'm gonna go ahead and work on this troubled side first. I'm gonna get the caliper off, see where we're at. In the majority of cases on this caliper, it's typically held on by just a couple bolts. We have a top bolt here and a bottom bolt right there, and you take those out, and usually you're able to just pry this caliper off and set it up there. I'm gonna do that right now. Looks like, I believe that's gonna be a 10mm bolt. I know it's Dodge, it's supposed to be American, but everything's went metric now. Remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. Of course. What a weird design. There. Alright, let's see if it'll come off my hand. Okay, those bolts are out. Now I've got to grab a screwdriver and pull that out. Nice beefy screwdriver here. Pry that baby right out of there. When you're working on vehicles, when you start prying, if you know it's something that's supposed to be pried out, you start prying on something and it don't move at all, double check, make sure you got all your bolts out, okay? The vast majority of the ones I work on have 2 bolts, caliper comes off. Buddy. Whew. Man. I always want to set your caliper somewhere safe. You don't want it to dangle on this brake line. You'll break your brake line. I think that's, I'm not sure if that's 2 different spelled English words there, but you'll break your brake line. You don't want to do that. All right. These are the pads. And you can tell there's definitely something wrong with this caliper because it is wearing very unevenly. And that could have been because it was seized up on these slides from the rust, or that the caliper was bad altogether. Now you could tell that right there, that's what the pad is, but basically what that is actually the metal that the pad sits on. This is all metal to metal here. This is why we're changing these brakes out today. I think that's why it broke, because it literally wore the part down that was held to the rest of the drum. So, yes, that's a problem. This one, this pad, you can see there's still a little bit there. They don't come too much thicker than that brand new, really. I'll have to see what they actually come as, but maybe double that. That might be still half pad, but it wasn't wearing evenly, and so you got one side getting wore really bad, and now you've got was able to take the rotor right off of the thing. You're not supposed to be able to do that. Yep. I think I found the problem. Now what you got, this is the caliper bracket. That's what I'm going to call it today. I don't know if that's a technical term or not. Caliper bracket, and that's held on usually by just 2 bolts. They're a little beefier, a little bigger. It's going to take you a little bit more to get those off, but you got to take that off before you can get the rotor off, okay? And so I'm going to work on getting these 2 bolts off here. Might throw an impact on it. We'll see how hard they come off. All right, so these bolts are 21mm. Let's see if You can get this breaker bar in here. It's a tight fit. Have to find a 21 short, it looks like. But kind of. All right. She loosened up. That's a good thing. Found me another short 21. That deep well 21 was not going to work. Short one, just dandy. Once it's broke, loose, I'm gonna put the ratchet on it. Two big old bolts. And there's that bracket. We'll clean that thing up. All right, this is gonna come off easy. Oh wait, it might. That never happens. Oh yeah. I wish I could have. Sorry for the noise. No, I'm not. Boom, baby. That's not what it's supposed to look like. It's supposed to have this attached and have another side right here. But it broke. But it came off so easy. I'm so happy. Because I'm going to take this caliper and I'm going to pinch it in. It got wore right here. Might not be able to save the caliper, but I'm going to try. So what I'm going to use is, let's see if we can do this. I'm going to take an old piece of a pad and I'm going to set that in there like that. I'm going to get a C-clamp and I'll slowly squeeze that cylinder in and see if it'll work and if it's going to be sufficient to keep rolling with it. Fantastic tool to have in your arsenal, C-clamp. Gotta have it. And just go real nice and easy. Having somebody else for this might make it a little easier, but I'm running solo today. Okay, so I've got that on there, holding support so that's not on the cable there. And I'm just going slow. Nice and slow. See if I can get that piston to work. It feels as if it's seized up a little bit. I mean, it's working, but they might be okay. I think they're going to be all right. I really do. I think once I clean up the sliders, it's not leaking, it could be all right. So back that off. Set that, nope. Here we go. It's that killed rubber right there. That's a bad caliper. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'll bring you in. That tore rubber, bad caliper. We're gonna have to replace that caliper. No problem. It just makes it a little lengthier process because then you have to bleed the brakes. You need somebody else for that, but it's okay. No big deal. I got somebody I can call once I get to that point, and they can give me a hand. Now I'm gonna move over to the other side, and let's see how this caliper is looking. Might only have to replace one drum, one caliper, and then brake pads on both sides. It might be good to go. Let's see where we're at. Once again, right here. 10 millimeter. Ah, yeah. No big deal. We might get away with just changing the pads on this side. That would be awesome. Now, I'm not giving you a certified brake specialist may be obligated to replace both calipers when they replace one. I'm not sure what the laws are. I'm doing this for a friend. Not going to sue me. If we find that the passenger side brake is hanging up or not working right, we'll tear this thing back apart. And this is doing brakes on a budget, okay? Trying to go as inexpensive as possible, but obviously want to make sure the brake is safe. Your rear brakes, they are used, but they're not used as much as your front brakes. That's why your front brake pads go bad much more often than your rear brake pads. And your rear brake pads really have a lot to do with stability, braking around corners. You could probably get away with front brakes only if you're only doing straight line braking, but when you're braking around a corner, curve, whatever, this helps provide stability to the rear of the vehicle so that you're not sliding out. Just helps with the stability and the handling of the vehicle all around. Maybe it's on there. Okay, there's a little lip there. I didn't catch this right away. You can't pull it out from the top first. You have to pull it from the bottom. Like I said, you just look, I tried to start pulling on this top part, and it wasn't coming right away. So I got to looking. Just wanted to see why. Don't force stuff. There's no need to do that. As soon as I started pulling from the bottom, though, it's coming a lot smoother now. Now I'm trying to, while I'm prying on this, I'm really trying to make sure I keep one hand on the caliper the whole time so that I don't accidentally lose control of the caliper and it drop and dangle. There we go. Caught it. By looking at it, just at first glance, it looks okay. We'll see in a minute here. Brake pads. You see how this thing is not wore. The other one was wore much further down. This one's not wore hardly at all. But it's almost seized in here on these sliders. So my concern is, or my thought here is, the caliper's probably just fine, but these pads have gotten seized in here because the back brakes don't get used as much, and it started getting seized up along the way, and now these pads have kind of got locked into those sliders, and it's just not evenly wearing. So we'll clean this up real good before we put it back together and make sure that it's sliding real good when we put new pads on. But I think I'm going to get away with one caliper and one rotor here. Now I've got that. That thing was just locked up onto that slider. Now, I said on the other side that we'll make sure we clean this off, this caliper bracket, and I'll do that same thing on this side. But cleaning that up and lubricating is fine, but making sure the new hardware, which will come in the with the pads, put that new hardware on and lubricate that as well. That'll make sure that these brake pads are sliding correctly. At least until a couple Michigan winters down the road and it locks up again, because that's just what happens. I'm going to take this bracket off so I can clean it up real quick. We'll clean both brackets up, and then I will check some pricing and make a run to old Riley. All right. Those broke loose. About perfect timing. Should have all these parts off, cleaned up, ready to go get new parts, and I'm getting hungry, so it's just about lunchtime. All right, if it was my own personal vehicle, I would run it just like that. Yeah, just feeling that. It's nice and smooth. That rotor is doing just dandy. I think we're fine. So we'll clean up everything else, put new pads on there, squeeze that rotor, that cylinder back in, make sure that's working smoothly. If it is, then we're just going to replace one caliper for now. I don't think we need to do 2 calipers. One caliper, one rotor, brake pads, new hardware, we're going to be good to go. We'll get this caliper cylinder squeezed in real quick, make sure that we're good to go there. See here. I'm sorry that my eyes aren't, I'm looking at the stinking display here, making sure that I'm getting the right shots. Probably looks goofy because I'm looking over here at the screen. Camera's right there, so I'm supposed to be looking at you. I'm having a hard time doing that. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. So I'm not looking at somebody else. I'm just looking at the screen to make sure that I'm giving you the right shot. This chubby fella's getting hungry, I'll tell you. And all the mean people in the comments are like, "You're a fat guy. You go ahead and lose some weight there, you fatty." It's all right. I'm pleasantly plump. I ain't fat, I'm pleasantly plump. This one's moving real nice. It's really smooth. So I'm just going nice and slow with it. It's going so much easier. The other one did. This is what I'm used to. Oh yeah, this caliper's just fine. Just they're ugly, dirty, nasty. Boom. Rubber's still okay. I might scrape some of that stuff off. I'll definitely make sure that I pop these out and clean these out real quick before I go up there. Make sure they can get out. What I'm saying these is this is your slider here. And this here comes off and you can pull that right out. Ah, yeah. See that? That's not that bad. There we go. Use whatever you can. I used one of the brake caliper bolts to do this. Still being careful to make sure that's set in such a way that I don't rip the cable out. Looking at these, they look okay. I clean them up real good. They just need to be, here, see this? These are the slides, okay? Your caliper's sliding back and forth on this thing. All right, they're not really that bad. I'll wire brush it. I'm not gonna show you that part, but I'm gonna just kind of wire brush the outside here. Maybe hit that a little bit. Wipe it down real good with a rag, make sure it's nice and clean and shiny again. And then we'll put some brake caliper lubrication on here before we put them back in. I think we're good to go though. I think this caliper's savable. All right, I got some of this brake caliper grease, okay? So I'm gonna stick a little inside this little hole there. Get that in the channel. Get that all in there. I want a lot in there if I can. I don't want to make too much of a mess, but I want to make sure that there's plenty of stuff in there for lubrication. I'm gonna lube these things up real good, real good. I want them lubed up real good. Okay? All right. Set that. And I'm gonna try to slide one in, see if it slides better. Oops. Just slowly working that through. Oh yeah. There's little lips on the rubber that catches the lips of the slider. And I'm gonna move that back and forth. Yeah, kind of hard to show you, but I'm just pushing it back and forth with my finger, trying to get some good mobility. That feels good. I'm happy with that. Feels nice and moving. I'm gonna do it to the other side real quick. You won't be able to see that as good, but we'll get that done. Feeling good. I'm happy about it. That caliper should be back to moving back and forth along these thing here. That'll be good. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these up real quick while I'm over here. All right. Okay, so the last thing to do before heading out is we need to take this caliper off. Now this is actually pretty easy. I'm saving it to last because when you take this bolt off right here, see if I can zoom in, take off this bolt right here. This block butts up to the caliper, and as soon as I take this off, it's going to leak brake fluid. So I want to try to minimize as much leaking as possible, and I'm going to do that. Sometimes I pinch these, but it's an older truck and I hate to wreck that. So we'll see what we do here. I'm going to think about something real quick. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that bolt off. That's looking like a 14 or 15. Take that baby off and take the caliper with us down to the parts store. We'll take our rotor-ish and our brake pads too. Make sure that we got the right parts when we get over there. All right, got me a 15 millimeter. Bring it here so you can see this. I'll show you here. Got a good look right there, okay? This is tricky, of course, because I'm kind of holding against myself here. But nice to wedge this in something would be great. Let's see if I can do that here. This will work, actually. There we go, I think. All right. What I did, and I'm going to see if this works, is I crimped that off with vice grips. I'm not squeezing too hard on it, but I think I'm squeezing enough to cut the flow of the brake fluid out. Okay, yeah, it seemed to be working. I don't want to break it, but I also don't want to leak all the fluid out. It makes it a lot easier. Let's unscrew that bolt. Undo that, and that's your brake line. Seems to be working okay. So we'll replace this old caliper and get rolling here. So I think I'm not going to take you on my lunch trip or my O'Reilly's trip, but I got to make a phone call real quick. So I'm going to give them a shout, find out if they got all the parts, and then wait for a ride. My wife or somebody's got to come pick me up. I'm getting hungry. Have I already said that? Yeah, well, I'm getting hungry. Maybe the property owner will come back. I see a car over here, one of the ladies at our church. I could maybe steal her car. I mean, not steal, come on. I mean, seriously. Not steal the car. Borrow the car. I know the neighbor too. He's over there. Maybe I could go to the neighbor's house and borrow one of his vehicles. We'll just figure something out. We'll get a ride. I promise we'll get a ride. But that's it. I'm just waiting on a ride now. Just waiting on a ride. Pretty cool. It's going good. Going pretty smooth. I'm liking it. All right. Got my parts. Let me get this thing situated here. I've got my camera plugged in, so I can't bring you up too close, but I think you can see this region right there, right? All right, so I'm going to grab the caliper first, and went through all that trouble to clean up that bracket, and the caliper actually came with the bracket. That's kind of cool. I like that. But interesting. So the caliper bolt size changed to, I believe, a 12. It's not a 10 anymore. First thing, we also got to put the rotor real quick and we'll get that thing up. And that's what a rotor's supposed to look like. Yeah, that's a little better. Get that baby. That's better. That's better. Put this new bracket on here. New parts are so nice because they just go back together so smooth. Don't have to fight anything. Got my 21 millimeter. grab this old caliper here, and I think what I'll do, all right, this is the hardware for that. There's also hardware in the brake pad, so I'll actually end up with some extra hardware. There we go. These go in there. There we go. Just gotta make sure it's all up in there right. Okay. Grab some more brake lube. Just kind of lubing that little bar. Just want to be able to, don't want to get a bunch on the rotor. A little bit ain't gonna hurt nothing, but you don't want to get a ton on that rotor. But that's just gonna make sure those brake pads slide nice and good. We got a box of brake pads. And they are all the exact same. Each side is the same. Boom. Gotta get it in these little tabs. Looks good. Looks good. Then put this caliper on here. And that top one started. That bottom one started. And then yeah, just don't over tighten these bolts, okay? We got the brake line here, and this bolt comes here. This bolt comes with two, what they call, I think they call them smash rings, right? Smash rings right here. Little copper smash rings, and one will go on each side of that block. Drop it on the floor. That's always the best way to do it. This is actually 11, I think. You want it tight enough not to leak, but you don't want to over tighten it. Take my bleeder off. And that is on that's a 10 millimeter. Loosen that up a little bit. Then pop this off. And it should, in theory, bleed itself, mostly. All right, on to the next ones. All right, grabbing this new hardware, slide that new hardware onto place. Okay, get some lube in there, down in that little crevice. Try not to get as much on the rotor as you can. That up a little bit. You can see the difference between the pads. Oops. Right here. So let's see if I can show up. There we go. How about that? Focus on that. So about half gone on that one pad. On the other pad, it was pretty much toast. want anything out of place. Okay. Put a little bit of this grease here. Supposedly this helps with squeaking. I don't know. We'll see. That's why I just do it that way. And then you put the nasty looking caliper. You almost feel bad putting such a nice caliper on the one side and I really quick ran over and had to put that drain off, or turn the drain, turn that bleeder valve off real quick. So it was definitely draining good. So that's mostly bled, really. It's not gonna be that hard to bleed once I get to it now. Really won't need much bleeding. And because I didn't break the lines anywhere else, I'm just gonna bleed that one tire. So if an actual mechanic watches my video to critique me, maybe they'd say something different. That's okay. That's how I do it. Haven't had problems. I've had several cars in my lifetime. It's kind of a hobby of mine to wheel and deal and get cars that are broke down, fix them up, sell them or drive them and then sell them. Okay. We're close. We're close. I'm gonna do a little picking up. And then we'll come back for the bleeding. Okay, so it's time to bleed the brakes. And what we're gonna do is I'm gonna set it right here real quick. Hopefully I don't get a bunch of brake fluid all over my camera. And this right here is the bleeder valve. Zoom up in there. Okay, it's 10 millimeter. And so what I'm gonna do is I've got a guy in the truck. I'm gonna tell him to start pumping it. He's gonna pump it, and I'm gonna tell him to hold it, and I'm gonna squirt a little bit out. And that really, I think one time should be fine with this. So, all right, go ahead and pump it.
Okay.
All right. Hold it.
It's not going down. Now it's going down.
All right. Pump it.
Okay.
Hold it. That looks real good. How's it feel?
You want me to light it up?
Yeah, go ahead and let it up. Yeah, we should be good. Well, all that's left is to throw these tires on here. What I do is I always use this stuff, anti-seize.
Yeah, I will.
Anti-seize.
Yeah.
It's important to put that on there. And all you gotta do is put a little bit on each thread. A little bit goes a long way.
Yeah. I like using it, I'll tell you that.
Mm-hmm. Makes it easier later on when you go to take stuff off. So
Change that air compressor, you move that around like that, which is right in my way. I want to get that thing taken care of.
all right.
Where's your nuts at? Right there, okay. Oh, you got it?
Yeah. A little bit of this anti-seize goes a long ways. Just in time, huh?
Yeah. My leak or something. I can't remember. I wonder when he's gonna do this car here. He's gonna be fixed on this. Got it all done?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thing looks good, I tell you that. Not heavy, but it's on shoulder. Start as the first pull.
Yeah.
That's how we roll. We put broomsticks as our hood props. All right, test drive time. Feels good. Feels like it's stopping pretty good. I did inspect a little further, and it looks like we're going to be doing his front brakes pretty soon too. So that might be another video I do here in the next month or so. He's probably got a good couple months left on the pads, but before winter hits too hard, we'll probably try to get that done. Let's see here. So far, feels good. Let's see. Oh yeah, she comes to a complete stop. Feels like she's got good brake pedal. No noises. That's always good. That's always good. Well, I sure want to just take a second to thank y'all for watching this video and watching the videos that I've made. I don't have a lot of subscribers yet. We got 10 subscribers at the making of this video, and I'm always looking for more. Actually, pretty soon I'll be doing a giveaway, and but I'm trying to figure out when, like what mile marker. If I say 100 subscribers, is that too small of a mile marker to do much of a giveaway? So I'm kind of talking to my wife about that, trying to figure out what would be good. But I want to do a giveaway here pretty soon. But I need to get some more. I need to get some more followers, some more subscribers here to the channel to be able to do so. But I do thank you for watching today. I appreciate it a ton. Please subscribe to the channel. Be one of them extra subscribers. Be some of them first ones that stuck with it through it all. If you enjoy this the videos, please hit that subscribe button. Ring the bell. That sends a notification to your email every time I put out a new video, and it'll let you know. That way you don't miss any videos that I put out. I'm trying to do once a week. The other week I did twice. I did 2 in 1 week. So trying to do at least 1 video a week, if at all possible. Sometimes I get busy and it's hard to get them edited. In fact, this video probably won't go up until about a week and a half after my last video, or somewhere around there. But we're working on trying to get. I got a few ideas coming up here pretty soon that we're looking at, and just waiting for a couple things to fall into place for that to work out. And let's see here. Anything else I got to tell you today? Oh, you can hit like, hit share, all that fun stuff. Oh, in the bottom of in the description box, I started an affiliate program with Amazon. And what those links do, I put some links down there for some of the equipment I use to make these videos. And those links, if you were to click on those links, it takes you into Amazon. And then if you purchase either some of the equipment, if you like some of the equipment I'm using, the phone I'm using, the computer I'm using to edit, those are some of the links I put in there. If you like those products and the price is right for you and you purchase those, I get a very small percentage, but every couple dollars helps. So I'll get a small percentage back from them links. But if you go into that link for, say you hit the link for the MacBook Pro, 13-inch MacBook Pro that I'm using, if you hit that link, you don't even have to buy that computer. You go through that link and buy something else. I believe it's, I don't know, there's a certain amount of time, like a 24-hour period after you hit that link. If you buy something from Amazon, somehow they know. I don't know how that works. But somehow they know that you followed my link to get there, and I get some credit for that. So it's not a bunch, But if more and more folks do that, I really want to be able to build the channel up, be able to do more things, create better content, and better content costs money. And I'm willing to sacrifice some of my own initially up front because you can't make money without spending money. I understand that. But we do need to just get better content. It'll be fun. Have a blast. So thanks again for watching. Sure appreciate it. Remember, Jesus loves you. So do I. God bless you. Have a fantastic rest of your day.